Hi, in this video we're going to be looking at the Livedial, which is a very useful graphical user interface part of Max MSP. As before, we have two objects in here. We have our cycle object, which outputs a sine wave, and that is routed to left and right, channel 1 and channel 2 of EZ DAC, which is something that I can use to turn the audio system on and off. And before we've sent messages, or we've used a number object to actually change the frequency that actually plays. Now, so if I add a Livedial to this and then lock the patch, we can see that we can interact with that by clicking on it with the mouse, and then if I move around with the sort of fader, that changes the value on there. So it's got this numerical value at the bottom that tells you where it's actually set. So at the moment, it being a number between 0 and 127, which is the default, isn't particularly good for us when we're wanting to output a sine wave, so we need to range this. So the way that we can do that is that we unlock the patch, and then if we right click on the Livedial and then select Inspector, this brings down a sort of window on here. And the section we want is here under range stroke enum. And what we can basically do here is we can overwrite the range that this dial will output. So at the moment it's set to output a number, and you change it between 0 and 127. So if we change that to the audio range, so we'll go between 20 and 20,000 Hertz and press return. So now if we lock our patch and then click on the dial and then move it, we'll see that it's actually outputting more useful information for us there. And so if we unlock that, and then the second most important thing we can do, if we have a look at the inspector, is we might want to change what this actually says at the top. So at the moment it says Livedial. So if we change that to frequency, we'll call it freak because it's too large. That gives us a little bit more information about what we're actually wanting to do there. So now if I was to connect this to our cycle object, what will happen is when I change this, once we've locked the patch and then I change this, when I change this thing here, and that outputs this number to this object. So it will be outputting 10,718 at this moment. So the frequency will be continually updated by this object there. So if I we'll move this down a bit. So if I turn this on, and then we can see that we can change the frequency of this cycle object there. So that's a very useful thing. That's the Livedial.